all want to live in a better future, with fewer problems and more well-being. And even if sustainability wasn't really your thing, you'd probably still prefer to live in a better world rather than in a worse one. I am a researcher who received international recognition for a startup idea in the cultural and creative industries. I am going to cover 4 major points that we need to improve in research to reach our sustainability goals. In 2015, Pope Francis published the encyclical Laudato Si, in which he called for a better care of the environment and the promotion of social justice. The encyclical received widespread media attention, and Pope Francis was invited to deliver an opening speech at the UN Sustainable Development Summit on September 25. This summit resulted in the creation of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Unfortunately, however, the UN recently highlighted that we'll be able to reach only 70% of the planned targets by 2030. Now, the question is, how could we make a plan that reached only 70% of the planned targets? And why did this happen? We mentioned already in this previous video that the COVID pandemic and the geopolitical situation may have influenced this result. However, they cannot fully explain it. At the same time, we have presented in previous videos that research studies observed a decline in breakthrough innovation by 5% per year after the 1970s. And we wondered whether this decline in innovation may be correlated with this result. Eventually, many researchers were not aware of this observed decline. In the end, if we become unable to innovate, there will be no surprise for our inability to meet our development goals. So, why do we experience this decline in breakthrough innovation? Reason 1: the publish or perish culture. A few weeks ago, a notification prompted me to this post in the Reddit group Academia, titled "So Sick of Nothing Burger Review Papers." These researchers shared the opinion that most publications have really little to say and bring no new ideas forward. Among the top responses, the blame was given to the culture of publish or perish. For those who don't know, to make a career in academia, most of the time researchers and institutions have to publish a lot of articles. Productivity is often measured by the quantity rather than the quality of articles. So 100 articles that say nothing substantially new are still 100 articles. They gave this practice the name of publish or perish, because either you publish or perish. For example, when apply for a grant, you often have to mention how many articles you plan to publish out of your research. If you say that you plan to publish, for example, only 1 article but full of information, that would probably not be seen as satisfactory. For this reason, a practice has emerged to dilute available information into the maximum number of potential outputs. For example, instead of publishing all results in one go, I just tell you a little bit of information in many different articles. The publish or perish culture is often blamed as the evil in research. However, it doesn't fully explain this decline in innovation. If information is diluted into multiple articles, taken altogether, they should provide the same amount of knowledge. Furthermore, if the knowledge rate per article decreases, reviewers should eventually reject those publications. Which brings us to the second potential reason. The overall quality of researchers and reviewers may have decreased. This is the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about, but it's crucial to acknowledge it if we want to be honest about the problem. It's not necessarily a decline in technical quality, but a drop in the level of intuition, creativity, and imagination, which is somehow reflected in the higher rates of idea theft and plagiarism in the sector. Furthermore, in this video, I have shown how power abuse may strongly contribute to this potential drop, since power abuse may undermine talented researchers or promising ideas, undermining in the long term our potential for innovation. Point 3. Science advances one funeral at a time. One of you suggested this concept in a comment. Look at this. In this article, researchers have highlighted that while a research leader is alive, their collaborators publish a lot. Eventually, when these superstars die, collaborators experience a drop in publication, and we see an increase of novel ideas and approaches. This phenomenon suggests the potential presence of internal barriers that suffocate innovative approaches, and the eventual timidity of researchers to challenge mainstream views popularized in their fields. Point 4. Research funding may unwillingly disadvantage breakthrough innovation. This idea was described by physicist and journalist Philip Ball in his article "Science Funding Tends to Favor Mediocrity Over Grand Ideas." Ball provokes us to imagine a grand proposal written by Einstein and how it would have been received by his reviewers, considering that he was challenging established beliefs of the time. He goes, "It's a good job Einstein didn't need a grant. The kind of idle pastime that might amuse physicists is to imagine drafting Einstein's grant application in 1905. I propose to investigate the idea that light travels in little bits, one might say. I will explore the possibility that time slows down as things speed up," goes another. Imagine what comments this would have elicited from reviewers for the German science funding agency had such a thing existed. The moral of the story is that less innovative ideas may sometimes be favored, as it is easier to predict what type of outcomes we might have. The problem is that under this research paradigm, we are now late in our quest for sustainable development. And maybe it's time to revise these strategies, given that it seems we cannot keep going on like this for long. To reach sustainability, we should really reconsider the way we innovate. So how should organizations react? Let me know what you think in the comments, and we will discuss this together in a future video. So remember to subscribe to the channel to stay updated and help me produce more content like this. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.